Well, hello everyone. I hope that your day is going absolutely amazing whenever this video finds you. If you're new here, hi, hello. My name is Alyssa. It is so incredibly nice to meet you. I'm glad that you're here and I hope that you'll consider subscribing and hanging out with us. And if you are not new here, welcome to my channel and welcome back to today's video. I am glad that you are back. This is exciting. So this is my 2022 New Year's spread. It is gorgeous. It is featuring letters to Apollo. This kit is really beautiful gold detail foiling and I love it. This was an interesting week for me. We went away for half the week. We decided as a family, because we normally tend to travel to warmer places, but we decided as a family to head out to Huntsville for half the week and kind of spend New Year's out of the city with all of the cases getting higher and not too much to do because we actually ended up going into lockdown shortly after. We decided just to get away for a little bit and just spend some time up in the countryside in Canada, which was, yes, as cold as it sounded, but it was amazing. This entire this spread was just perfect. It was beautiful. It was cool. I had more of a country style camping spread set out, but when Jessica had released or said she was going to release this again and revamp it into the new kit format, I was like, no, I need this. This needs to be my New Year's kit. And I'm so happy that I grabbed it. So as always, my little tiny blanket statement. All of my florals from this kit are actually Velvet Noir florals from Letters to Apollo. They match this kit so perfectly. I use them for my Halloween spread and I just thought they fit this again. So when I ordered this kit, I also ordered that set of florals. So as always, I am going to go ahead. I am going to lay down my base. And as soon as my base is down, I will be back and we will chat about how the week went. So stay tuned and let's listen to some music. So I actually went ahead and I laid down my base my sidebar prior to going ahead and laying down the rest of my base. I don't know. I kind of felt inspired in this moment. So I figured I would go ahead. I would lay down that base. I really loved it. So what I did for the sidebar is I used a super cute little Miss and Meow photograph box with some hanging little Christmassy lights. It is from her Christmas set, but it just worked really well here. And then of course I popped in some of those Velvet Noir florals in the back, and then I used some really pretty kind of divider in pieces from Mini Right Co. and Simply Beautiful Plans along the sidebar. I'm also going ahead and I'm popping down this super pretty little half scallop, and I'm going to put on a little Oh Hello January script from Letters to Apollo on top of that. And I layer that under a Giving Girl little hanging, I guess, light and lace set. I need more of these. I actually just ran out and they're so cute. And I use that same piece from the set at the very top. My January script is from House of Stickers UK. Again, I do PR for a bunch of shops. I PR for Letters to Apollo and House of Stickers UK so far, and the Giving Girl as well. So all of my PR codes are down in the description box below for you to check out and grab. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I am popping down all of my boxes and my headers, and as soon as those are down, I will be back and we'll continue chatting about the week. Okay, so for Monday, I went ahead and actually worked this day. I'm popping down half a floral with a little tiny, kind of not a full box, it's one of the little mini boxes. And I'm popping down some florals from Letters to Apollo, and I worked that day. So I just used my Letters to Apollo script. And then I used the leftover, I don't know if you noticed at the bottom, I laid down a really thin washi from my Spoiled Planner, and I used just a layer on top of the kind of the break between the two washes. And then I used kind of the remainder of that down as a divider. I also had a bunch of stuff I had to do that day. So I went grocery shopping. I used a half little scallop from Bloom Paper Studio, and I layered a header over that just to break that up, and just pop down my grocery shopping script from Letters to Apollo and my Cross by Towie. It's like a laundry icon because I also did my bathroom, I cleaned, and I deep cleaned the office, and I also did laundry that day. So it's kind of like from the chore set. And then partway through that day, I ended up heading to, back to my parents' house for the evening for a little bit. And I went and did a quick little mani-pedi at my usual place. I had done one prior, but unfortunately my nail had chipped, so I had to go and get it fixed. So I ended up going and getting a pedicure that day as well. And I used my Cross by Towie little beauty makeup icon. And then I also went and sorted my closet, and I packed a bunch of donations, like other donations that I needed to get rid of, and which, by the way, are still in Nathan's trunk. And I gave them to him to drop off at the Salvation Army, and he was kind of like, I don't know what to do with them. So he's been driving around with these bags of clothing for a couple of weeks, and I kept saying, like, I gave him the address, I gave him what to do, and he was kind of like, I don't know what to do with them. What is, like, I don't understand. But this Sunday, we are headed to my parents, so we're going to stop off there first, and I'm going to drop it off just so I can show him what to do next time, only because he passes by there every single day, and it just made sense. So some of you guys had asked in my last video, you grabbed me on Instagram and asked why I don't consider selling them on, like, I don't know, what is it, Poshmark or something? I don't know. I feel I'd rather donate them. I don't feel like I need to, it doesn't serve me purpose, but it might serve someone else purpose. And I wanted to donate them because I feel like, I don't know, I'm big on that. I'm really big on donating what I don't quite need. I don't do a lot of selling online. Even when I had a shop, I had a hard time selling things. It's just not who I am. I prefer just to donate. So I did that, and then, and I had quite a few pieces because I did a big clean out before, and I still had a couple of pieces that I was hanging on to that really didn't serve me any purpose. And they were just a reminder of just how I felt back then. This is before I met Nathan. So I put those in the bag and I got rid of them. And they are now gone. Well, they're in Nathan's trunk, but they will be gone. So so that was kind of that night. On Tuesday, oh, by the way, I know you guys will see, I used a little paper trails hanging baubles. It was still Christmas week for me, okay? So, and they fit so cute with the kit, so I use them again. They're just little hanging balls with bows on them. They don't necessarily have to be baubles. So, so on Tuesday, I worked in the morning. I did work for the first half of this week, and I used the Sadie Stickers little string lights on top of a window-shaped half box or partial box from Letters to Apollo from the kit. I actually really like how it turned out. It's a really pretty kind of simple box, and I use a Letters to Apollo script, my favorite work script, and a little floral behind that, just to kind of keep that like lights theme going. That is kind of the theme I went for, was lights, hanging lights, because it's New Year's and it's like golden and it's pretty. And then I used a little divider from an old freebie. It was in my reusable sticker book. And then I also confirmed our dinner for Thursday because we were driving in on Thursday, and each night my siblings and I were responsible for a dinner. We ended up, because my parents are always so kind and they're always treating us. So we each took my parents to a different restaurant. So we covered Thursday night's dinner. We took them to a really cool brewery. We didn't want to do like anything fancy because we just spent like 3 or 4 hours driving in. So we went to this awesome brewery in Huntsville. And I think it's called Huntsville Brewery. So shout out to them. And it was such a good evening. And so that was our night. And everyone just kind of was responsible to like make different reservations. So we picked the brewery that night, Nathan being English and a beer drinker. It just made sense. It just really made sense. And then that was also the day that my grades were finalized. They'd been in prior, but we could, for about a week or two, talk to our professors about our grade. I didn't need to. My grades were great. And for one of them, I mean, I got a B plus, or it got bumped up to an A minus because I guess the class average changed. I kind of deserve that because I didn't put a lot of effort in that class. It was a class I'd already taken. I didn't study for my exam. Still walked away with a really great grade. But I was like, it wasn't my usual high A's, I guess you could say. So I was like, no, I deserve it. I'm not even going to argue for that grade. And it just got bumped up to an A minus anyway. So it's fine. You can't, like, it's university grades. They're important, but, like, you get what you put in, right? So for that, I use a little coffee with a notebook and a computer. I have a bunch of sheets of these. I love these from My Dear Stationery. And then I just used some florals from the kit. And again, a half mandala there from Bloom Paper Studio. I haven't hauled those yet. They're going to be hauled. I have had to dip into that because I actually need a lot of stickers from that order. I do have a haul by the time this goes up. You would have already seen my haul, so make sure to check that out. I'm actually going to film it right after this. And then in the evening, I had to do adoption calls for those who are new here. I am actually an adoption coordinator for a local dog rescue. It's actually the rescue my little Natty is from, who has kicked all of my pillows off the couch. I'm watching her. She's passed out on it. And I'm overseeing 3 dogs right now. One of them is going through a couple surgeries, so she's not ready to be adopted out yet. And I have an older guy who has to be adopted and rehomed because he was a foster situation, and we're adopting him out now. And then I also have another one that was a rescue from overseas, and she is being adopted out. So I had to make some phone calls and some interview phone calls to the vets and all of that stuff and check references. And so that was my Tuesday, and I marked that with just a little bow planner icon with a pen. On Wednesday, I went grocery shopping. It was my day off. I had to pick up snacks. I pick up snacks for the drive. I am someone, if I'm in a car for a long ride, I don't eat a lot, but I need to pick at snacks. I also just realized that I jumped ahead. Sorry. But let me know if you are a snacker on car rides, if you do well during car rides. I used to have a friend who couldn't read in the car. I also can't read in the car. She used to get really sick. I just get kind of nauseous. So I had an audiobook in. What was I reading? I was listening to a book. I can't even remember at this point. I remember falling asleep multiple parts to it, and I don't think I finished the book, which is rare for me because even if a book isn't great, I usually still finish it. But if I keep falling asleep during it, even when I'm like, because I listen to a book when I fall asleep or when I'm going to bed, sometimes I fall asleep, but most of the time I'm kind of up and it keeps me up. But this one kept putting me to sleep. So I ended up, I think I ended up not reading it and actually returning it to Audible, which is weird for me. I usually kind of just keep it. I'll give it like the good old college try another time. But I ended up doing that and then snacking. And I picked up at the time, what did I pick up? I picked up some Colonel's popcorn. They have some really great flavors. And I picked up, I think there was like a sweet chili one that I had like bought for myself and a dill pickle one. I couldn't do a lot of like the sour creams and stuff. And then I also picked up like just some protein bars that I was snacking on, which is, again, something that I normally do. I have protein shakes in the morning, but they're usually fairly small. So I usually have like a protein bar partway through the day. So that was kind of all that happened. And then we also had to pick up some small things for like the guys and everyone because we were taking 2 separate cars. My brother drove up. We drove up with my brother and Natty, and then my other brother drove up with my parents and their dogs. So, and we did take the dogs. For those who are wondering, the doggos did come with us. Again, I marked that as my day off. I used another half scallop from Bloom Paper Studio, a Letters to Apollo day off script, and I layered it with a floral wreath from Letters to Apollo. And then I used a mini right code divider between that. And then I spent the day generally doing laundry and packing for the trip. It wasn't just me I was packing for. I had to pack up Natty's stuff because she still had to get her, because we knew it was going to be cold. It was going to be cold here in Toronto, but they were experiencing a lot of snow it's far enough away where the weather is colder and different, especially because we're on a ski hill. We were staying in a ski resort, which is so cool. We stayed at Hidden Valley. If you are wondering and you're in the area, Hidden Valley was great. We also want to try Deerhurst next time because that's right next to it. How Canadian country can you get with like Hidden Valley, Deerhurst? So we were on like a ski hill because my brothers and my brother's girlfriend and my parents wanted to ski and snowboard. I personally do ski. I haven't skied in about 6 years, but it's kind of something that you can pick back up because I've stopped and gone a lot. I just wasn't in the mood to ski. I have to be in a mood to ski. And the last time I went with an old friend, and it was just such a poor experience, and it kind of killed it for me because she was awful to be with. You know, like when you go somewhere with someone and they're just not the greatest. That was kind of like that. She ruined that for me. We went away to Tremblant, I want to say 8 years ago, and it might be the last time I went skiing, actually, about 6-ish years ago. I can't remember now. And she ruined it for me. Totally ruined it for me, and I have not been able to want to ski since. And Nathan doesn't ski either, so we kind of ended up going on a lot of hikes, and we went skating instead, and we went for little hikes with Natty because we were stretching her arm, and it gave us a really good opportunity to stretch her arm, and it gave us a good opportunity for Natty and my brother's dog to see each other more outside of the home, which was great because now they're actually starting to get used to each other, so there is hope for them yet. So I packed Natty up, and then I had a call with my photographer that I marked down for some reason at the end of the day. But I did have a call with my photographer that morning, and it was just to chat about making sure she's so comfortable to come with us because we're flying her out, and just letting her know, giving her an update because we're officially, as of today, 3 months away from flying out, which is crazy. So I wanted just to touch base with her, and she is all good to go. I'm very excited. And then, so that was our Wednesday. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to do a little blanket statement. All of my icons are from Crafts by Towie. Those are my foil ones. And all my non-foil ones are from White Deer Stationery. And then on Thursday, I had a 9 to 1 shift. 8 to 1, 9 to 1 shift in the morning. So I actually got up early, packed everything by the door, got Natty ready. Nathan took care of her stuff in the morning, fed her, took her out to the bathroom. Well, I worked, and then at 1 o'clock, as soon as we were done, put on our boots, grabbed our crap, and left. And we went to meet my parents at their house, and then we drove up together. So that's kind of all we did. We packed my brother's car. He was very excited because it's his new car. And we drove, and boy, did we drive quite far. So it wasn't an exciting day. Checked into our hotel. It is exactly what you would think a ski resort would look like. If you're ever wondering, I'd never been to one. We went to the one, we went to Tremblant. We actually stayed in a cottage there. A lot of the cottages, due to the time of the year, were really expensive. And also a lot of them, because of COVID, didn't want people in their cottages or were going up themselves, or they had upped the price to make up for losses. But we ended up just going to the ski resort, and I actually preferred it because we got to get up every morning. There was a restaurant there that we can go have breakfast at, so it actually worked out better. And then we just chilled, and my heavens, when I say Natty was a dream, Natty was an angel. We brought her crate, which she doesn't really sleep in very often. Actually, my friend had it for the longest time, but we are getting that back tomorrow because she's gotten really restless throughout the night, and we don't know why. So we're bringing that crate back out. But we had her crate set up, had a blanket over it, made it really cozy, and she was hanging out in there. We took her out because we were on the second floor. It was really easy for us just to kind of go down, take her to the bathroom. So we went on long hikes with her, which was nice. And it was fun. We were able to leave her in the hotel room. She didn't bark. She just kind of chilled out, which was really cool. Wasn't afraid of anything. It was just a really interesting experience. I thought it was going to be a lot harder with her than it was, but she was fantastic. And I just can't wait to take her again. I think we're going to bring Nathan's parents up there in the summer because it's on a lake and it's gorgeous when they come next time, because we're going to see them in April. They're coming right before a wedding. And then I think we're going to honeymoon in May. We're going to go to England, spend time with them, fly into London. He and I spend a couple of days in London, spend time with his family, and then go to Paris and then spend some more time with his family and come home. So that way we have like little intermittent honeymoons throughout the 2 weeks that we're going. I think that's what we're going to end up doing. We want to do like Thailand or something. It's just not on the cards for us in terms of time span, because I have to be back for my final semester because it's a quick semester. It's like a 2-month semester, and Nathan won't be able to get more time off work. So yeah, those are our wedding plans. I will do like a wedding Q&A I think in the next week or two. I know I'm getting a lot of questions as to how it's going, what I'm doing, what's different between like an at-home wedding and a destination wedding. So I will answer all of those questions. If you have any questions about that, pop them down in the comments below and I'll kind of keep note on them. And then my next video or the one after, I'll go ahead and I'll answer those for you. That way we can chat about wedding stuff because I'm so excited. Also, I ordered another wedding kit. I have like 5 wedding kits and I have maybe 2 weeks of wedding stuff to plan. It's crazy. However, Nathan's brother is getting married. So I'm keeping one of those kits for his wedding. And then at some point my brother will be married. So I have kits. I'm ready. I'm ready for weddings. But yeah, so that was kind of our thing. And then we ended up going to the brewery that night and it was great. I was able to have some ciders, which is nice because I don't drink a lot and I can't have beers. So I was able to have some ciders that were gluten-free, which was great. And Nathan really loved it. I ended up buying him 2 glasses from there. They're really cute because at the bottom it has like a panic line. And I actually picked him up some beers to take home as well. And then on a Friday, it was our first full day there, which was really nice. And we got to wake up. It was beautiful. It had snowed overnight and it really snowed overnight. It was actually pretty crazy. We had a morning hike. So Natty and Nathan and I, she's looking at me when I said her name. We went on a early morning hike. We also went with my mom and Theo and Rebecca and Cardi. And it was just like a nice long walk because we had a fairly busy day. We wanted to tire the puppers out. It was probably the longest walk Natty had gone on. It was probably about half an hour to 45 minutes. It was fairly leisurely because it was uphill, but it was still pretty long for her. So she ended up passing out. And then they had decided to go snowboarding and my mom stayed back. So her and I, as I was getting my boots on to go on the hike, I ripped the inside of my Sorels. I had these like cloth space bootsy looking Sorels and I actually ripped the inside liner, which was the waterproof part. So it could leak through the top half and then went right into my boots. So after that, my mom and I actually had to go into town and I had to buy myself a new pair of boots, which I was not financially planning, but it was perfectly fine. They were great. They were on sale. I think I paid $150 for them for like a solid pair of snow boots. In all fairness, my snow boots had been years old. And then the other ones I had a hole in them as well. So it was just, like it was time for these Sorels to be replaced. So I got a new pair of Sorels, which by the way, if you are not somewhere where it gets snow, they're a great brand of boots. So if you're looking for like solid snow boots, I highly recommend Sorels. I did get one of their more heavy duty pair. So I'm hoping it lasts me quite a few more years because I just got them. And to be honest, they're actually super comfortable because they fit a little better than the other ones did. I layer really thick socks under my boots and the other ones didn't have a lot of room for thick socks. They were harder to get onto, which is probably why they ripped. So yeah, so we went into town and we just had a lot of fun. My mom and I picked up some fudge. I picked up a sweater. We went to, there's a shop called Maurice's. That's a US shop that we only have in a couple of small towns in Canada. And they have sizes for tall people. So we went in there, which doesn't really serve my mom purpose. I picked myself up a really cute, Canadian, flannel vest. Just because, why not add to it? We're up in Huntsville and my mom ended up picking herself up a really nice pair of shorts. Jeans. So yeah, we did pretty well. And then that night while I was there, because we were looking for a restaurant that was going to take us on New Year's, because it was New Year's Eve. And there was one we were looking at, but we couldn't tell if they had reservations. I, on a whim, walked in and they took reservations for us, which was great. So we ended up going there for dinner and it was like this Italian place. And we had wine and they had gluten-free pizza and it was great. And I had vegan cheese. I don't think I had that though. I think I ended up having their gluten-free pasta that night. And it was such a good evening. It was fun. I don't drink a lot, but I did enjoy my wine that night. And then we went back to the resort and they were doing fireworks. So we got to see some fireworks happening. And we did the countdown literally on the lake with the dogs and the fireworks. Natty was great during the fireworks. Unfortunately, little Cardi was afraid, so she had to be pulled back a little bit. But we just kind of sat there. We had champagne. It was a lot of fun. It was a very Canadian New Year's. There is no way to put that any other way. That was a very Canadian New Year's. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, so that was our New Year's. We went back and we had a very late night. And then I just kind of layered there the really pretty quarter box where it says drinks and New Year's on the lake. And I layered a quarter box on top of that box with some really pretty florals from Letters to Apollo and Simply Beautiful Plants. And then I also used a Crossed by Towie martini glass, of course, with a bow icon to mark that too. On Saturday morning, we had a late morning. So we all got up and we went for breakfast in the hotel, which was right down the hall from us, which was great because my poor brothers had to crawl their way there. And then we just had breakfast on the lake, overseeing the lake. It was honestly a perfect little weekend. It was fun. And I used a Crafts by Towie little coffee icon, the boat icon, and I used some Sadie stickers. If you notice, what I did with my boxes is the ones without headers, I popped in some really pretty Sadie stickers, lace dividers, and I love how it looks on this box. And then I follow that up under that with a mini Ryco divider, and then some Letters to Apollo florals, the corner section on top of the quarter box. And then at the bottom, we did drinks that night. My brother and his girlfriend, it was their turn to pick their dinner place. And they picked this really cool, like by the water restaurant that was like mainly seafood, but they also had some other options, which was cool. And we had our own private room because we were a bigger party. And we just sat there and we had drinks and wine. And it was so nice and it was perfect. And it was just a great weekend. I really enjoyed it. We talked like wedding stuff and because we realized that was coming up. And that was kind of it. And then on Sunday morning, we had breakfast again together and we packed. So we ended up packing quite early. We picked a later checkout time. So because they didn't have any people coming in, they let us keep our room till about 1 or 2 in the afternoon so they can go skiing. I also forgot to mention on Saturday, I don't think I marked it, but we went on a very long hike before dinner, like a super long hike, which was really nice. Poor Natty, towards the end, might have been a little much for her, but it's really strengthening her arms, especially the one that needs to be worked a little bit more. And, but yeah, that morning we went, we packed, they went skiing and snowboarding. My mom, dad, and I kind of did our thing around the hotel, had a late breakfast, had some coffee, chilled out. And then we drove home. We actually popped into town with that box. I used a really cute little bow box layered with a Crossed by Towie hanger on top of a Giving Girl. On one of her freebies, she had almost these like splayed stars, and I layered that under that. And I used another Giving Girl hanging lace and starlight, I guess, little hanging divider. And then I drove home and I marked that off with the Crossed by Towie house bow icon. And then I did a grocery run on the way home with Nathan because we popped by my parents' house and I had to run and grab stuff for the next day. And that was kind of up. And then I just came home and I chilled out and I had some tea and we just hung out for the evening because it was actually a fairly early night. It was a really just honestly, it was such a great weekend. And I think it was something that my family all needed. We've been pretty apart, pretty separate for a while. And we just kind of came together safely, stayed away from most people and just did our thing for the weekend. And I loved it. It was good. We definitely want to go back again. I'm hoping before the snow melts. But let me know what you did for your New Year's. I want to hear about your New Year's Eve. Did you do anything special? Did you ring it in with friends and family? I know as things are slowly starting to look a little normal, people are gathering a little bit more and safely. So let me know what you did. I want to hear about it. I'm going to leave you with finishing off the spread. I'm going to add in some foils up top. You'll see fill in my sidebar and some extra little dainty pieces. And then that will be that. Please join me next week. I am going to be posting a different kind of video. I think I'm going to be doing a yearly roundup of my 2021 spreads. I might do it in 2 parts, or I'm going to do my, there was another video I wanted to film. I just can't remember. So it's on my list. But so join me next week for my next 2 videos, my plan with me and my little additional one on Tuesday. And I will see you soon. Stay safe, guys. Stay well. And I will talk to you in a bit. Bye.